Anything that you don't want the world to know right now, just say it. It's only you, me, and the internet listening.
Yeah, and nothing sticks around on the internet.
Nothing. Hey team, how we going? It is Kaz from In the Trenches with Kaz, the free life coach who's right 47% of the time. Okay, I'm here to let you know this is the road to 10,000 subscribers. Okay, we're going to have a little bit of a show happening in the background, which is going to keep you entertained. But I just thought that I'd throw this fake news picture that we've created for the background. And I tell you what, I believe the cameras would love this lady more than Valentine's Day in her beloved worship of the team she goes for. And I wish I was the captain of that team. Because for anyone that didn't know, she's pretty much my type, but she would get arthritis from flicking people like me left. So I hope you've had a good day, team. We've got Mr. P here. We've got all the lovely people in blue, okay, the moderators here on the chat. We've got heaps of the members here in green. We're not going to have Dave here. He's at his unreserved night, just like all of the those that are reservists. And we're in for a show.
Looking forward to it.
That's it. Can you juggle fire?
No, I can't juggle anything. I'm a terrible juggler.
Can we start by just asking, and I'd like to make this a mainstay from now on, when we come onto the stream team, what I'm going to ask you to do, if in the absence of us asking, when you first come on there, can you just let us know with a thumbs up if life is good, or a thumbs down if things aren't so good? And if this is ever one of those places you think, oh, I can't come on tonight, I'm having a shit time, there's never a better reason to disengage and be with someone where you can fake your name and come on here and just disappear amongst a crowd of people that can give you an honest answer to the pseudonym that you decide is going to be you for the next hour and change.
Yeah, exactly.
So let's see the hands of colour, if you've had a good day or bad day.
What do you do if you've like a bit of a neutral day? I've had a bit of a flat day.
Flatliner. You don't want to be like that. That means you could be a ghost.
Oh, Kaz, JP's just walked in and showed me members only chat is on.
Oh, shit.
So
Shit.
thanks, JP. Thanks for the technical help. No, we're not keeping you out of it. We're not.
Wait a second. Live chat. Okay. There we go. That's why we do this.
There we go.
We just keep you on the ball. JP, you passed. This was a test that was set up for you by Carl and Mr. P and Eatswa. They were the people that set this up. Okay. Mr. Bryce is not having a good day at the moment. Yeah. I'm sorry to hear that, mate.
Yeah, flat day. What do I put up if I'm having a flat day?
I don't know. Well, the earth is flat, as we all know. Apparently, the woke left is in trouble. The gay time cancel culture didn't work. Now, I think shares of gay time have actually gone up because people are trying to, look after the company. We've got the pirate hasn't had a good day. He's been caught by the galleon.
Oh, no.
And I'm sorry for those that have had bad days because you know what? The life works like a BMX track and you've got to enjoy those peaks but understand the troughs are coming. And hopefully it's only something that's with you for 24 hours. Let us know if there's anything we can do about it and we will do what we can. Even if it is just articulate, our sympathy for your loss of a good day.
Yep, indeed.
There's Jam Man there. Okay, what do you reckon's happening to JJ Jam Man? He's now doing his, not IETs, he's training for Navy. He left the other day and he's going to be a submariner. Just like Mr. Beast, he's going to spend some time below the surface. For those that don't know, Mr. Beast just did 50 hours in a glass coffin covered in dirt to raise money for a charity.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd like that.
No, that would suck, she said.
Yeah.
Howdy team, how we going, says Smokey B, who's had an up and down day, but at least he's only put 2 hands, not 3. He's not part of the Carl P cult. Life continues, says Mr. P, and that's great to hear. You know, and like we say, the biggest asset that you are going to have, commodity, resource as you get older, is time. You may not realise at the moment, but you damn well will when it's getting close to the fat lady singing. Okay.
One thing, Keely Boyd says that Darcy, her boy,
Okay.
to her, sorry if I've assumed your gender incorrectly, arrived at Kapuka today. He's getting his head shaved as we speak.
Racist. That's awesome. It is funny that the ladies don't have to do it, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
What better way to make it inclusive? And they never have had to. Wouldn't that be inclusive?
They should. They have nothing to complain about until they have to do that. They look. What the heck?
Snip, frickin' snip.
No different standards. Get stuff. There's one right there.
What's that?
Different standards.
Oh, okay. For that, what we're going to do is we're going to put a bit of retribution on, and this is for JP to make him feel like he's back in the green. Bam. Enjoy, team. We've got a bunch of videos that are going to be ambience in the background so that you can enjoy that if you're not actually down with what's actually occurring on the channel. This is counting headshots, this one. By rights, I should have actually dropped the links to these, but they're gameplay, so it's no real chap off anyone's arse there. Battlefield 5 is the game. Tripper Snipper finally got sent my plane tickets to attend my ad for OSB in 2 weeks' time. Any advice? Tripper, I've got a lot of advice for you, mate, and what I recommend you do for the price of coffee a month is get onto our Patreon, mate, because the OSB, it's important you do it right. I'm not going to give you a script, but I can definitely assist you, you know, more than you'll find on the internet, to get a more successful run up to that. And Yaros can vouch for that, who I believe just got some really great news. So get onto Patreon. From there, what will occur is you and I will then have a phone call via this telephone communications device we have here, and we will speak about everything to do with you and how you prepare for that to be the best leader for those that deserve great leadership. And that's great to hear the OSBs are happening in person, okay, which means there's going to be a lot of physicality and there's going to be bonding like Married at First Sight the night before, so be ready for that. How are we going for noise? Okay, that's not too loud?
No one's complained.
Okay, great. Mr. Gray's here. G'day, buddy. How you going, Connor?
Yep. Anyone got any Navy questions? Throw them to Mr. Gray.
Yeah, that's right. And he's not a recipient of drop soap. He's had enough rank.
Yeah, exactly.
You know? He's going to swab that deck.
Also, his lovely bride is Navy also.
She is.
So he can answer any questions about, you know, married service people.
At this stage, the only Navy guy that has proof that he's not into Popeye. Loves a man with a corn pipe.
Good grief.
So what's your opinion on AAC? AAC. Remind me, AAC. I'm thinking Armoured Corps. Australian Army Cadets. Is that what you're talking about? I don't have an opinion on cadets, mate.
Oh, yeah,
It's good. It's good to not be on the street, and it doesn't necessarily prepare you for a military career. It doesn't symbolise what a military career is. Okay, but you know what? Keeps you off the street. Teaches a bit of leadership. Okay, teaches you dress and bearing to an extent. You know, you just got to be careful. You don't get caught up in the politics that can happen in cadets, mate. Just be careful of that.
Yes, it's cadets, he says. Yeah. It's just like any other group. You know, if you don't want to do that, join a sporting group.
Yep. And like I said, if I'd known cadets existed when I was young, I definitely would have been one. So I'm not knocking it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Robbie Kent, glad you're with us tonight, Mr. Bryce. I hope we can put a smile on your face. He's the good Samaritan, copped a stabbing, you know, after doing the right thing, you know, and helping a lady out. I don't know if you have seen, but there's a horrible case that's just happened in the UK. I believe there's a lot more to it. It's not a terrorism-inspired event where a young soldier turned up on a Tinder call, and he was 18 as a soldier, so very young, got ambushed by a 19-year-old guy there, and then got summarily tortured, burnt, stabbed, and his face bashed to a pulp. He's still alive. And people didn't respond because they thought it was a domestic. They didn't realise it was someone getting tortured in the room next door. And this guy, they're actually the torture is that bad that they're actually taking him for attempted murder because they believe that was what the intent was.
What the heck? Hey, there's James Cowan from the UK.
Hey, James, where is that crumpet-eating scallywag? There he is.
Down the bottom. G'day, James.
James, how you going, mate? You like our fish and chops? You know, we're just on the arse end of a perfect summer over here, mate. It wasn't a very hot one. The beach is fantastic. The water is clear. The rain has been falling for the farmers. You know, the only problem is one person coughs and states get shut down to COVID. It's getting ridiculous. Yeah. What can we do for you there, Mr. James Cowan? Is there anything we can do or say that you'd like? Is there someone you'd like us to call out from down under? You know, I think what we should show him again is that beautiful Skippy badge on the roadkill. Are you actually originally from Australia?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I'm actually amazed I didn't hear about that news story. That is disgraceful.
Oh, look, it is. But I don't think it's got anything to do with agendas. I think it's got to do with these two guys fighting over this girl, and this guy just went bloody totally apeshit.
Yeah, but there's fighting over a girl and there's torturing somebody. That's ridiculous. There was another bad story actually out of the UK this week about a young mother whose little girl starved to death because she went out on a birthday bender. She was even living in housing where they're meant to supervise at-risk kids and young mums, you know, who are at risk of neglecting their kids. Yeah, it's terrible. It's
horrible, and it's happening all over the Western world, and we've removed the shame because you're not allowed to blame people. There's always an excuse, including when people leave a child forever in the back of a car during a hot day. You go and you cannot tell me you forgot your baby. But enough of that one. Dave Rice says, hey, Kaz, thank you for your wisdom and experience in assisting me in passing my interview session. Dave, now I'm hungry. I've got Yaros reminding me of kebabs. Now I've got you reminding me of my Asian favourite foods.
You need to put your glasses on. It's Dave
Rico. I thought it said rice. There you go. Sorry, I'm going to be the new Specsavers ad.
James Cowan says no, he's not. He's currently mid-partner visa application for permanent residency, though. I hope that goes good for you.
Mate, what do you do, James, what do you do for a crust, mate? And what I want, if everyone in chat can give him what you honestly believe is where he should choose to live in Australia, because you can do it wrong. And I'll explain that in a second to you, James. We want you to come here. We want you to feel the love. We want you to feel the down under hug. And what we don't want is you getting caught up in somewhere where you don't see the beauty that Australia's got to offer you perpetually. Because you're only going to get one chance to do this right before you're going to get stuck somewhere.
Indeed. Mr. Patterson wants to talk about some positives around. I haven't really seen many positive news stories lately.
Oh, positives. What do we have? Well, the ASX is collapsed today. It was horrible. So shares are down. We've got... I'm just going to turn those snipers down. You know, they're scoring big time there. What is good that's happening?
What is good? Bindi Irwin had a baby. That's good news.
Really?
Congratulations. Yes, she had a baby girl. I can't remember what her name was.
You sort of can't have an opinion on her if you're our age, because you remember her as a child, and now you see her as quite a well-developed woman and sometimes quite pretty as well. And then other times,
Very beautiful.
yeah, because I loved. For those that don't know, I was a fan of Crocodile Hunter. You know, I thought that, I don't think he faked it. I thought that he was literally just one of those one in a billion kind of people.
Yeah, I actually never watched him, so I don't really have an opinion on him, but I know she's well known and she's had a baby, and that's positive.
Yeah.
And the Queen has a new great-grandchild who was born on the bathroom floor.
Geez, you don't expect that from royalty.
No, exactly. Zara, I think Princess Anne's daughter, gave birth on the garden walk to her third child.
No doubt Megan thinks that's racist. Dave Penson reckons Brisbane. Oh, but not Vietnam. Brisbane, okay, it's not too far north, not too far south. At the moment, there's a civil war happening between New South Wales and Queensland premiers. Maybe put the gloves on them and tell them to stop dragging their states into the bullshit.
Yeah, it's a bit of a cat fight,
Okay, James Cowan appreciated the messages from Melbourne. Think the plan is on sticking there. Okay, James, let me tell you, Melbourne is beautiful. Melbourne has got some fantastic sports. Melbourne is very close to being England.
Yeah,
You know, great restaurants, music, all that sort of stuff. Not sure how old you are, but you know what I'm thinking? When I saw your name, James Cowan, I thought, Coffs Harbour. A POM, there is no way you would rather be in Melbourne, and then if we showed you Coffs Harbour, or...
Be wherever his missus is.
Yeah, but, you know, pick her up, take her to where the beach is around the corner. That's what you want.
Be in Coffs Harbour too.
She might. Okay, here's another one for you. A little bit of crazy ambience of Battlefield 5 in the background. What you're going to see is some lunacy happening here. There's a lot happening in the background and some really funny moments to bring this to you so you can have a bit of a laugh. JP, I hope you like the romantic sniping that was happening in the background, really setting that mood. Yeah, I honestly reckon that the East Coast, you cannot go past that strip between Coffs Harbour and all the way up to around Yamba / Byron Bay sort of areas around there. You've got Port Macquarie, you've got everything. It's lovely.
Yeah, but I think
Port
it's
Stephens.
right too, because there's some beautiful spots up northwest, Western Australia.
I meant more for the mix of the people, mixed with the beauty, mixed with the temperature, mixed with the laid back sort of lifestyle, where also the cost of living is extremely sensible.
On this coast, it is a lot. It's a bit easier to get to everywhere else on the east coast of Australia.
Yep. Oh,
It's a long
Jesus.
way away.
Let us know if that sound effects get a bit too crazy. You're going to see some, you know, I know it's probably not a nice thing to say, but you're going to see some female drivers in a minute in some of these armoured vehicles. There's one now.
Uh-oh.
That's what it's like, someone trying to park in Penrith, bloody shopping centre. Look at 'em.
You know, when we were kids, if if we saw if there was a bad lady driver, we'd say, "Lady driver." I still do it.
I remember being at the Land 400. What I showed you the other day was the stream that was about the links and the redback comparisons between those two vehicles. And I remember the very first phase one of the Land 400. It was there she goes again in the background. And I remember they were asking, and there was colonels sitting around and civilians, and there she goes, bam. And I remember they're all sitting around. Everyone had a stick up their ass, and I put my hand up, and Colonel Bashing Wade at the time looks over and he goes, "Yeah, Sergeant Caswell, what's your question?" I went, "Now, considering that all corps have now been opened up to female soldiers, and we're about to, put our bids out for what is the next vehicle, I think it's very important that we start to consider a reverse camera if there's a chance of female drivers." And you saw him look at me with that, "Who let you come on this panel?" But do you know what it did, But?
What?
It made everyone just go and relax. Everyone just relaxed. The females there didn't care. No one cared. It just allowed everyone to just remember, this is about coffee. We're not going to make... There she goes in the background, making any decisions, etc. It was great. You guys honestly are in for a treat. Those people that are joining the army, about to join the military, there she is. if you end up in the Lynx and the Redback, it doesn't matter which one. They can both be defeated by every single armor-defeating weapon system. You know, you'll have just as much chance to die in flames as as any other vehicle. But you're gonna have comfort, air conditioning.
Yeah, exactly.
It's amazing.
I think it's going to save a lot of backs, a lot of knees.
Oh, look, dude, for 24 years, I saw maps roll out and be, this is point A and that is point B. Does anyone here get blisters? Now you're about to be in something where you're literally going to be complaining, is it too, oh, he got whacked. Is it too cold in the back there for you fellas? I can't believe it while you're in Darwin or Townsville.
Shall I change the music?
Lakes Entrance, very nice one there. Catherine, no. You don't want to go too far north. The poor bloody bloke will turn into a strip of bacon. Apollo Bay, come on, mate. You can't just start putting down, a list of places to confuse the poor bastard.
He is though. And he's shouting it.
He is too. He is. Bushmaster, piece of shit. Nah, the Bushmaster's not even a fighting vehicle, mate. All it is a protected mobility. That's all it was. Its only good function was the fact that it had a V-hull. That's it.
A what?
The Bushmaster, the protected mobility transport vehicle. It wasn't an infantry fighting vehicle.
It had a what hull?
A V-shaped hull, so when IEDs went off, it dispersed the blast instead of an APC, the M113, which had a flat hull, which allowed the maximum amount of jolt to occur after going over anti-tank or IED weapon system.
There you go.
Kaz,
There's Leo here.
Leo. Kaz, can you talk a little about QPM? I bought in today. Mr. Smurf. Well, today is probably the best day there's been in 3 months to buy QPM. They're at the lowest point. They've just had they're a share. I'm not a financial advisor team, but I will tell you that if you can buy a 30-pack of Coke for $15, that's a good deal, and that's good financial advice. Not Pepsi. QPM, they've just had a muster for those that are on the ASX, and the ASX was down today, so don't be upset. It's about to bounce back, just like Rocky in Rocky 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. But basically, what's occurring there is a share. A money raise was there designed to pay for a DFS, which is going to be the feasibility study. This is the only company in the world that is going to be able to make the nickel, cobalt, sulfates, etc., that go into the electronic battery industry. People like that go into electronic vehicles and all that other shit, all these necessities. They're the only ones that can do it with zero waste. So they're about to be, and they're the only company that can do it. So people don't even know what is the main price for this if you are the only ones that can do it. But that's set to explode in the next couple of days, and I mean in a good way, not like a Argentinian or Portuguese chicken on a run while being in an elevator kind of way, So if you're in QPM, hang on to your seat. You're in for a ride, and expect the price to get to $1, somewhere in the next year to year and a half. It's going to be fantastic.
But please seek your own
Financial advice. Don't come to this guy because I am cursed.
No, you are not. Eatswa has asked, was the photo from the last stream, I think he's talking about the interior of the Redback or the Lynx?
The interior, I believe, was from the Redback, but I think they'd be very, very similar. There'd be individual bucket seats that are created with some sort of shock absorber system, to stop that jolt of the... Because there was... I'll tell you now, put a thumbs up here, team, if you've ever been in an M113, the APC. Those things had absolutely no shock absorbers whatsoever. You felt every single jolt. And what would happen is, you'd be in the back of that, you'd be sucking off the invisible man fallen asleep, okay, partially because you're tired, partially because of the diesel you're inhaling. And all of a sudden, you'd get this seasoned, armoured dog, the commander, and he sounds like he's got panic in his voice. And you can feel this 10-plus ton vehicle all of a sudden feels weightless. And you're like, what's happening? And when you see the crewie or the crew commander suddenly start to panic and go, hold on, and you're in the back, you see grown men shit themselves, because basically what's occurring is they're either collapsing the bank of a creek line and then they drop and fall down, or they're about to hit a tree, and then everyone can fit into a 1 by 1 square metre. And all there is with soldiers is sharp shit, so you're always supposed to have your barrels down, but you tend not to because they're hard to balance. But you take an ass kicking in the back of an APC if you're the troops on board. I've seen the back of one when my father was in Cav. Dave, my dad was in Cav as well. We was in Ramey. There we go. Oh, boom. That was an unhappy ending for some in the background. Brady Cars, X2 Cav. Brady, I didn't know that, mate. Fantastic. Because I believe it was 2 Cav my dad was with, supporting in Vietnam.
There you go.
Well done, sir.
To see all the people who have had a ride.
Yeah. Simon Powell's even driven one.
Gosh, there you go.
What were you still, what do you call it? Were you still running illegal horse ejaculate, while you were doing that, Simon?
If the mail has to get through, he has to deliver it.
Okay, Mr. Bryce is saying absolute shit, which is why the Bushmaster air-conditioned and safe from IEDs. It must have been beautiful to be comfortable in a vehicle, that's for sure. One of the things I didn't like about the Bushmaster also was the egress. My fear is when a vehicle rolls over or gets into a position where you can't get out in a hurry, i.e. if it was on fire. That's my biggest fear. The Amtrak, the US Amtrak that was always closed down, can float. One of the SOPs for that is if it sinks, is to wait until it's completely full of water and hits the ocean bottom before you all attempt to get out of the one hull that you could get out of. And they were saying, basically, you won't all make it out. That was the SOP. It was no, it wasn't pleasant.
Yeah. Indeed.
Did we get some more from Connor back there about his thoughts on Melbourne, etc.?
Connor, I think you mean James Cowan.
James Cowan. There goes the female driver in the background, sorry. Getting chased by, she's left her husband behind. That guy's cardio is good.
Her husband's grateful to be left behind.
Yeah.
Would just like to say cheers for the info your channel has provided. Military has always been a calling, however, now need to wait a few years until I'm an Aussie citizen.
Look, mate, I think it's a dream role now. It really is. We're in peacetime. The world is, it may not feel like it, but the world is more peaceful than it's ever been. A lot of people don't know, but at the moment, the media tries its hardest to paint the most negative picture, and the only reason why the woke are allowed to be woke is because they don't have any real problems. Every single metric of crime is down across the world. Everyone. And hunger is down by a shitload. You should be happy. Your kids, if you come from good parents and you've got great family and you put your kids first, they're going to grow up absolutely privileged. And that's a good thing, not an insult.
Yeah, exactly. It's a luxury. There's a question here from Cascadia.
Oh, a nice beer.
It says, hey, Kaz, got a quick question in regards to enlisting into defence with a prior police caution. Does that stop you from officer roles and enlisted jobs?
Enlisted, I would say probably not. If it doesn't come with a record, then you don't have a record.
Yeah.
You don't go in there and go, oh, there's something you might need to know about.
Yeah. Yeah, if they don't say to you, have you ever had a police caution? You don't have to tell them as long as it's not on record.
That's it. Hey, Benny Walker, how you going, mate? Not much walking going to be happening for the future infanteers, I tell you. You're going to be doing the fitness test from sitting in the back of a vehicle. It's going to be great.
Yep, there's Dave Penson with his saying that he thinks the UN will move into, is it Myanmar?
Myanmar, I don't know, mate. If that happens, it has to be by invite. You know, you really don't want to be part of that because I don't think there's going to be any winners. Here's a tank now for those armoured guys. I don't know where he's going. Just went to the 6 o'clock. I believe that Australia is going to send some people to Mali, you know, and that's not a Labrador that we're talking about there. We're talking about a place in Northern Africa, you know, because the French, I believe they're going back there. Canadians are going there. Brits are going there. It's not somewhere you want to be because it's something that can't be cured.
Yeah.
You know, it's, I don't know. And it's also had the most amount of, you know, coffins come home.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens next, for sure. Cascadia says, yes, it's been recorded and you're not sure what to do about it. Be honest. It may not stop you.
You have to.
You have a long record, but you'll have to be honest about it.
And then it comes to also how long ago was it?
Yeah, exactly. And I think also what it was for. So I think you'll just have to be honest about it and see what happens. It may not stop you. And then
say to him, who's this little fella doing his BFA up the guts there? Go, son. Go. Oh, shit. That's funny. I love this. I feel like I'll watch it too. And then when they go, oh, look, mate, we're not sure, go, hey, just so you know, I'm from in the trenches with Kaz as well. Legit.
There's no guarantee that's going to help you.
Yeah. Well, whenever I meet people on the street, you know, or wherever we go, everyone tends to be, you guys keep going. You know, you're the only voice out there, you know, and we get accepted pretty well for what we do for the young fellas and lasses that just need that bit of Aussie larrikin plus a little bit of honesty where someone's not giving you a shandy, telling you everything's okay. Well, Jesus, I know what happened there. No reverse camera required.
No, but we're in your corner, you know, and that's what we're for. You know, we want you to succeed.
Absolutely, we do.
You to go forward in life and have a good life, and sometimes you might have issues or problems that are going to mean that joining the Defence Force is actually going to, you know, not be really good for you.
Yeah, and a lot of the biggest surprises actually come from life itself. You know, you eat something that's not good for you, before you know, you got a bit of cabbage hanging out your rear end.
Sheesh.
What do we got there? Benny Walker was yep, it is true that they are there, mate.
Yeah, we do.
Okay, we're just not allowed to use those names much on here because the algorithm kicks us off, mate. But there was no insult in what you said there, and I don't know what the hell just happened, but everything just went diddy meow from the village. They are there, and they're there with a purpose. And if we're going to send people to somewhere like Mali, you need to make sure that you go there with an agenda, and that agenda should be to win. It is life. We'll never send tanks overseas. So, Kaz, question. So don't mention in the trenches with Kaz on my assessment day. Actually go, you know what, in the trenches with Kaz told me what I should say.
Two First Names has a question. How did the Army decide which battalions deploy, Kaz?
Basically, that can come down to readiness. Okay, that can come down to which is the commander who's kicking goals in the actual regiment at the time. You've got to remember, you've got 7 battalion commanders, and they're always going to have a pecking order as well. How long's it going for? Is it a standoff? Is it going to be like the Solomons where it's fairly low key? You know, is it going to be one that needs the best people on the ground? You know, do they want the A team? Do they want the B team? You know, how long is this going to go for? You know, do you want to hit the ground running, and then put out a operational tempo list? One of the things that can be very hard is that when you get told that you're going somewhere and there's a date to it, and it comes out. Well, say for example, you get told operationally that there is a contingent of Australian soldiers that is now meant. Jesus, that guy just destroyed a tank. Give that man a job and a coffee. No, basically, what had happened is those dates would happen, but if you've got to post an order in, that doesn't get pulled. You know, you can't pull a discharge, all those sort of things still stand a lot of the time. Yeah, we'll see. I don't think the Australian Army is going to want to go too long with having people overseas. It's good for us. It allows us to test our equipment at the expense sometimes of Australian souls. But that's the nature of being a volunteer in the Army.
Yep.
There's a sharp side, just like there is for a cop, just like there is for a fireman.
Tassie Devil has some very exciting news.
What is it?
Hi, Kaz. I've been told today that my enlistment day is Monday next week for infantry.
Monday next week?
Yeah, still waiting for the letter of enlistment. Should get that soon, though, and thank you for all your help.
That's awesome, mate. You prepare for that. You know, yeah. As soon as you get that letter, then you start to treat yourself with a bit of cotton wool. Eat as much KFC as you can. Fatten up, because you're not going to get enough tucker to put on weight while you're at Kapooka.
And you know, thanks for sharing the journey with us, Tassie Devil. You've been here for ages, and we've been here right from the get-go, and, you know, we really appreciate you all sharing your journey.
Yeah, and we see there that he's a coke-loving devil. Yeah.
Yeah, oh yeah, sure. Tassie's always in there with the coke.
Can we get some thumbs up for the Tasmanian devil, and then laugh at the horrible timing, the fact that this poor dickhead is going to Singo in winter.
It's going to be like summer.
Oh.
He's from Tassie. It's going to be even better there than here.
Yeah, no, it's different. It is different. You know, in Tassie, you still get to wear a hoodie. You know, you don't get to wear that at bloody... And there's going to be no lynx or redbacks waiting for you to keep you warm with diesel fumes in Singo. You know?
Yeah, I reckon it'll be right.
Everyone that goes to Singo remembers the horrible feel of the sand-encrusted rope of the Traverse ropes, especially if you're there in winter. You know, that Kentucky Fried Chicken rope that's about as thick as a bloody New Guinea calf muscle. You know, it's huge. And you're trying to get some purchase on that. It sucks. You know, my hands are hurting. Quick, let's get a medic. Get that guy a doona. He's uncomfortable. Nah, not going to happen.
Okay, Ryanopoulos has asked, how long after your enlistment day do you leave for Kapooka?
Your enlistment day?
Yeah.
That day.
That is when you leave for Kapooka. That's what that means.
Your life starts sucking right from that moment, mate. You put your hand in the air, watching out for the 45-degree angle. Don't do that one. Okay, and then from there, what's going to occur is you're getting on the bus, seat taken, and you're going to Kapooka, and they're going to go, free haircut, dickhead. You're going to walk out, you know, and then from there, it's all on.
Yeah, just like Keely's boy is today.
Yeah.
Okay. Kakashi.
James Cole, no ticks in winter. Well done.
Some things we just can't talk about on here.
Where is it so I can talk around it?
It's about the red corn chip and things that might happen.
Yeah, yeah. You got to remember that a lot of our countries aren't as against it.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think it's anything to worry about, but I think your friends are right to be watching the news.
Yeah, but that won't be true. That won't be true, mate.
Yeah.
Yeah. What this is that. Have you ever heard of a thing called saber rattling?
Yeah, that is true. Absolutely.
Yeah, there is a bunch of countries in this world that have to keep face. You know, Australia, there's no keeping face. That's like you're on it. If you're a dickhead, we'll call you out for a dickhead. but there's a lot of places like the red corn chip. There's a lot of places, India, Pakistan, etc. There's places like Egypt, and a lot of the Arab nations, and even if they are wrong, you're not allowed to tell them they're wrong, because can be a bigger insult for making someone lose face than what the actual crime was. So that's one of the sensibilities. It's a weird thing, I know.
Yeah, it's true. But look, even if, shizzle hits the fan, there is no point in panicking about it.
No.
You've got to stay calm, and you keep calm, and you carry on, and you do what you have to do, because, we're one of the only generations in the whole history of the world that's lived in such peace. So, if stuff happens, you'll survive, just like your, ancestors did before you. You'll manage.
Yep. Yeah. That's absolutely true.
Okay. Oh, Rob Kent said, did you give Pirate 13 a Nutsu cow or a Kraken because he became a member earlier today?
I didn't see it. Pirate. Nutsu cow. We haven't actually got them on here at the moment because we've got these background plays that are on here.
Give him an old school one.
Well, Pirate, we need you here because, one, parrot is the closest thing to chicken.
Yeah.
And we love the taste. And everyone loves to have a pirate, especially when they're not talking about $2 Malaysian porn. Mate, it's great to have you here. For those that don't know, Nutsu Cow is the White Warrior. And I cannot believe you're going to fight him. You're kicking the wall and it's coming down all around him. Don't do it. Not so cow, not so cow, is what she says. Great to have you here, mate, and you watch your rank start going up. Anyone that wants to follow suit with the pirate, all you simply need to do for around the price of a coffee or less a month is go onto the join button beside the subscribe button. You'll see yourself come up on the screen. You see yourself go green. You become a recruit in the channel. Okay, and then each month you'll go up ranks until you get to section commander, which is 2 stripes, squad commander in the USA. And then, at the 6-month mark, become a sergeant. Okay, if you're married, your missus will get a fatter ass because that's what happens. And you'll get bitter, and you'll swear that you're going to get out if everything doesn't go your way, but you'll actually stay in for another 10 years.
I never got a fat bum. All right.
Freak.
Mitchell White has a question for you.
Mitchie.
Do you know my dad? His name is Glenn White, and he says he knows you.
It's such a racist name.
Come on now.
There's a lot of whiteys, okay, and I mean that as in name White in the Australian Army. First names, I don't know anyone's first name in the Army. I'm sure that Whitey knows me. Tell him I said g'day, and Nutsu Cow to him. Okay, pleasure to, because he literally is the White Warrior. Pleasure to see you here, and you should feel very welcome, mate. The Army is made up of whiteys, brownies, smithies, bakes, and other such frivolity names.
It's true. Okay, Tosog, who is a member, is just jumping out of the lurker closet to put a comment in here.
Yeah, fantastic.
Hey, Kaz, got my assessment day coming up in 13 days. Is access to the bat phone only through Patreon?
Yes, it is, mate. Yep. They're two completely separate things. The members is all about what happens on the chat, live streams. Patreon is all about talking through the bat phone, one-on-one conversations. Okay, and then from there, the recipients of those that least expect it, we go out and help them out. And we're looking to go and do the winter preparation for homeless video soon. And the reason why I like that is because you can actually videotape it, where you can't really videotape going into a lot of the mothers when we pay for their groceries, or going up to pay for someone's fuel in a station, etc. And doing things where there's children around. So, mate, if that's where you want to go, if you need that conversation, then get the Patreon team. We'll see you there. There's only 200 positions left, and it's good. I spent a lot of time on that phone.
And we're also on the road to 10,000 again. We've done this before the road to 10,000.
I don't know if I put again in. We used to have nearly 16,000 subscribers, team. But then just over a year and a bit ago, what happened was I answered an email that popped up on my screen while I was making a Melbourne Cup video that said to me that there's a spam video and I need to go in there and be able to change that now or my channel would be suspended, and it was from YouTube. So I went in there, followed the link, and it said you're about to have editorial rights, so you need to actually log in to your Google account. I logged in and then went back to Adobe Premiere Pro, where I work at the bloody speed of a spelling bee, you know. And basically what happened was I handed my channel over to a pirate over in East Asia, and my channel was gone, and YouTube did nothing to help us get it back.
We try not to think about what was lost. We're here now. We're on the road to 10,000 again.
And guess who else is here? Our armoured guru, a tank commander, fighting the turret with Swar. Yes, I'm a lid again. Fighting the turret was Swar, Scotty. Okay, Mr. Healy. He's there now. You can see him in chat. He was a tank commander. Okay, in the Australian Army. You know, not too cow to that goofy bastard. Could get any girl. Could play AFL. Great guy.
That's terrific. Waitsy is here, and he said, "Hey Kaz, almost finished with my ICT at RMC.
Yep.
Hit a few road bumps, but chin up and moving forward. Hope you and Loren are well. We're well.
Thanks, Waitsy. And that's why that is why the slouch hat has a chin strap to keep your chin up.
Yep.
You know, an officer is a lonely path, because despite the fact that you're inside the herd, you know, at the end of the day, you're an individual inside that group. At any moment, there might be a time for who dares wins for you to step up and say, okay, this is where I pull my sword out and represent. Okay, and to the victor goes the spoils.
Yep, and forward's the only way to go.
Yep.
Keep going. Simon Powell was wondering how Aaron the Hitman Dixon is.
When you don't hear from Aaron Dixon, that normally means he's flying, Neville. Flying. I don't know how he's going. I need to take him into town. Normally I have to lure him in there with a free feed. He's an Irishman, you know. You know, this is a people that survived off potatoes but didn't realise they were surrounded by oceans. They could have had fish and chips, but they just stuck with potatoes, you know.
You make him sound like he's a feral cat or something, and you've got to lure him somewhere with bowls.
I can't believe for 2,000 years they survived off unsalted, half-cooked potatoes.
Come on now.
Look, she's going crazy driving down there too. This actually looks like a Penrith car park. This is what it's like outside the plaza, actually.
Is that what it's like when you go to do the school pickup?
Yeah.
Tassie Devil was wondering, is anyone else enlisting next Monday?
Oh, Tassie Devil. Well, how about I answer that question with the Green Book of Enlistment here? Dun 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 dun. So the date is the 5th, I believe.
Should be. I don't have a calendar in front of me.
Is everyone getting ready to eat a fillet of fish this Friday?
I hope so. And have some chocky eggs.
Chocky. I hate that word.
You love it. You
Hate
say
it.
it all the time.
You're going to eat the whole freaking bag.
Of chockies.
Okay, so on the 5th of April, okay, on the first day of April, my true love gave to me
That's at April Fool's Day.
one skinned parakeet. So you're going with HL, Hotel Lima, Maddie Doug, Marcus, Richo, Gaspo, Darcy, come on Kelly's boy, and the Jam Man. So that's a fair few people right there.
It is.
So what we need you to do is passively go in there and simply just go, in the trenches with Kaz, in the trenches with Kaz, until someone goes, over here, over here.
Do a sneaky Mutsu cow or slip a kraken into the conversation and see who responds.
It is going to be funny when some of you guys bloody are even in the same section, and you're going to come back going, oh shit, You know, I don't like him, he doesn't like me. Which one's going to get back to Kaz sooner and say the other guy's a dickhead?
It's all right because we don't care. We don't care what people say about other people. We won't let it change our opinion.
We don't care if the whole world is a dickhead.
Yeah, exactly. Good night, Mr. Patterson.
Good night, Mr. P. Good night, mate.
Doesn't matter if you like who you've got to work with. You just have to work with them.
Yeah, that's right. You just take one of their boots, you know, while they're asleep. Where is it? We're doing a night move. Where's my boot?
Okay. You once did dream of
Yeah, I love knowing. Oh, you know, I wish I got paid more. No worries, dickhead. Stay open another hour.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, okay. That works. Potato scallops. You know, have a shoe shiner on the front porch there. Yeah, I'd love it.
Yeah, that's great.
Ozman got selected for Cataflux party. Will be the first time doing Anzac Day. It's a big one, mate. Cataflux party. It's a big honour. You know, make sure your uniform's good. Remember, you don't do anything loud. Okay, you still move at the same speed, but the foot doesn't drive into the ground like normal. Okay, you need to, you know, Soto. Do it quietly. There you go. Fighting the turret SWAT. Scotty Healy. Daz. Yes, I was a driver, loader, gunner, and commander on the Leopard tank. I was also a commander and senior instructor on the Leopard tank and the M1A1 and M113. And I was proud to have served under Kaz. That last bit might have been fake news. I thought I'd add that in because that's what the stream's been all about.
There you go. A mechanic. I heard from a mate whose cousin's a recruit instructor that recruits are still quarantined for 2 weeks before Kapuka. Can anyone confirm this?
Look, I would say yes because we're talking about Victoria here. You know, the weird thing is it ain't happening in Singo. You know, you go to Singo because it's a different state. You know, you're having march outs. You know, where the family can turn up, can hug your face, can hug your mate's face.
Why would you hug someone's face?
You know, uncoordinated affection, I call it.
Yeah.
Hey, can you drop that line? Is Daz there?
Yeah, Daz is here.
Can you drop a line here? I want to drop a line to Daz. Can you just drop him that fantastic saying that we were talking about just before this stream started, that someone just got hit. One of the infantry guys, I think, just got hit by the main armament from a battle tank. The poor bloke just jettisoned across the screen.
Oh,
He didn't feel a thing. Do you remember that saying? That I don't want to say it because you say it better.
Yeah, a city on a hill can't be hidden.
There you go. A city on a hill can't be hidden.
Yeah.
I love that. I don't know what it means, but it sounds deep.
It means that, you know, if you've got a light to shine, you can't be hidden. People will recognise it in you. They'll see it.
That's right. If the quest for you tomorrow, team, no matter what gender is, okay, no matter how old you are, or even if you are Dave Penson in Vietnam, try and find a time and someone you can say that to prophetically, like, a city built on a hill cannot be hidden.
Can't be hidden, exactly.
And when they go, what the hell are you talking about? Go,
Yeah.
maybe it's just a little bit too early for you.
Yeah, and Brady just said fog. Yeah, but you can still sort of see it. It just looks like a light, a fuzzy light then.
There is a tree at Singo that sucks the proverbial Popeye's appendage, and it's called One Tree Hill.
Okay.
And when you're on One Tree Hill, it is the bald knoll, except for the one tree, and it's where a lot of officers used to go for their RBCs to do their shoots, their training exercise with our troops, and do their planning. And in winter, the wind just goes through that place. You're expecting Clint Eastwood, John Wayne, and Charles Bronson to turn up at any moment. Jesus, you know what happened in the background. This tree looks like a hanging tree. You know,
Right.
it looks like it's meant to have a mob beneath it screaming your name.
Oh gosh, I think there's a very famous One Tree Hill in New Zealand.
It probably is.
Yes, I think so.
Spectacular for photography.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, look, Daz is just enthralled with Scotty. Pardon me, Scotty Healy.
Yeah, he's having a great time. Nicholas Metcalf, if I learned anything from Civ 6, it's build your cities on hills. I love that game. I love Civilization. I love them all.
I've never been into that one. I'd like to see the action. What's the question below that? That's a good one with Alex Seymour there.
Yeah, what happens when you get sick at Kapuka?
Back squatted. If you get sick, they cannot afford for you. You cannot catch up. They're official 40-minute lessons that are allocated. If you were out of training for more than 24, or might even be 48 hours, I believe it might be 24 hours, okay, you're gone. Because you can't catch up. You know? So basically what occurs is, normally, okay, if it's a one-off, and you tend not to get sick, because what happens when you're there? You're getting enough sleep. You're not eating bad food. Okay, you're not drinking alcohol. You're doing fitness-orientated activities. You're quarantined from the rest of the world. You tend to be fine. Okay? You tend to be fine. But if something happens or it's an injury and you can't keep up with training, then what will happen is there will be a welfare board that will be decided, a BOS, so to speak, a board of studies on you, and they'll say, how's this candidate, what are the worries? This guy, has got something wrong with him, blah, blah, blah. Is he likely to get over it? It's fair for him. Kick him out now. And they'll send you back to Digger James to repair and also to isolate you from others. And then from there, they'll bring you back into training at an earlier platoon. It's less than ideal, team. It is.
Yeah.
But if you're sick, also be resilient,
Yeah, exactly.
You don't have an injury until you say you've got an injury. Put it that way.
Well, come on now. Dave had an injury when he fell out that tree.
Well, you can't really hide that one.
It wouldn't have mattered if he said, I'm not hurt. His bone would still be sticking out of his leg.
Can someone pass me my foot?
Yeah. It was such an impressive injury for the distance he fell.
Hey, Ozanan says, Kaz, do you know how long it takes to receive your gong? I did an operation last October. Okay, where to? And haven't received it yet. I normally wouldn't care, but it would be nice to have it by Anzac Day. Oz, you need to go through your CSM and platoon sergeant and say, this is the case. What's going on? I haven't got it. Because you mustn't have gone with the unit. You must have gone just individually on something, did you? Because by rights, that should be an automatic thing that would happen through your company, and that should be fairly quick, actually, mate. If you don't bring it up, it might not happen. So what I recommend is get in touch with your chain of command, remind them, and you'll be surprised what happens. It doesn't take long to get it.
Yep. Simon Powell was wondering if we could get an update on young Achilles.
Achilles is great. I dropped him off and was nearly late for this stream. I'd love to have him on a stream, but normally he's back at his abode because the tyrant that I'm renting from here won't even allow us to have a dog, even one that doesn't drop fur or smell because of its being a cavoodle. But I'd love to do a stream with a little bugger on here. Little guy doesn't like sitting still. He's perfect.
He is. He's a cutie patootie.
Yeah. Everywhere I go, sometimes we get some beautiful people come over, but other times we see other people look like they're having a shit day. And quite often I'll ask them if I'm getting a cup of coffee, do you want a cup of coffee to them? And they often will say no. And there was one lady in particular the other day, I said, could I pay for your coffee? And she said, no. And I said, it's not from me. It's from Achilles, my dog here. And her face just changed. It changed today, you know. And she said, can I please hug your dog? And I went, yeah, okay. And she picked him up and hugged him and said, can you take a photo of me for Instagram? And it just completely changed her life. We've gone over to a lot of special needs people, and they just come to life patting the dog.
Yeah.
You know?
It's a bit like that does.
Sorry?
It does. Said it sounds like you're renting off the USSR. Yep. Back in the USSR.
Daz, what years was he on tanks? Okay. Well, I love seeing I love seeing the conversations happening in the chat.
Fighting the Turret said, Kaz, do you recall that you almost bought a fish and chip shop in 2013 near the Strand?
I still dream of that moment, mate. Who was saying that?
Fighting the Turret.
Yeah. Oh, mate, they were after like $50,000 or $60,000. It was like almost like a bloody hole in the wall size. It was so small. And oh, mate, if that was now, I probably would have done it, mate. But I reckon it would have put me in the bloody ground, you know, trying to keep up with it. Fish and chips. If you've got good people that run a small business, it doesn't matter if there's 20 of them. You know, you've got no competition when you're the best. You know, I'd have battered Sav Sundays.
Yeah. What?
You know.
I'll have the battered Sav, but I don't want it in a Sunday. Diesel Duck fan said, Kaz, I'm at my reserve unit right now in the reserves. Haven't been to Kapuka.
Well, you'll find, mate, your experience at your reserve depot will completely change. Go and get me some recruits there. You know, tell all them about coming to the channel. Get us to the 10,000 so every single person in the army knows us.
Yeah, we want to get over the 10,000.
And, mate, your world as a reservist changes once you get to Kapuka. Understand that. That's when you'll have uniforms. You'll know how to march. You'll know how to shoot. You'll know how to navigate. You'll know how to explain, okay, what it is and what your function is. And also, your depot will take you more seriously once you're qualified, mate. So, say all the best to everyone. Hope you have a great time there. And it's a great way to compensate a civilian career. Fantastic.
Yeah, Diesel Duck has also added, also, do berets get worn in infantry, Kaz?
They do. Some units can say no to berets. You know, North Queensland often said no to berets for the simple fact that from an OH&S perspective, you know, you don't want to be in an area that is so hot all the time.
Makes sense.
You know, yeah.
It's not practical. Ozanan says, Kaz, I went to the Torres Strait for Op Resolute
Okay.
with two others from my unit.
Okay, that's the deal. Someone in your chain of command, okay, needs to do the work, look on PM Keys, okay, look it up, put the request in, and then there should be a company parade where you guys all get either a chance for your missus and that to be there as well. Okay, it'll be in cams, not in polys. Okay, because you're not getting it as a unit. And then from there, what'll happen is they might get your missus to come out or whatever and be there or kids if you've got them, and you'll get that pinned on your chest through your left nipple. Okay, not so much. Okay, fake news, as we say here. And you can get that, you know, and that's the way it should happen. Yep.
Yep, indeed. Zane Robertson says, I've got a fish and chip joint I've been loyal to for years. Yeah, we're the same. I'll order 4 potato cakes, some chips, and a flake for me and my missus. I love flake. They'll always chuck in an extra 2 free and chuck in a free drink. And do you know what we used to call potato cakes when my kids were
Scallops.
We used to call it kid fish because we used to we couldn't afford fish for everyone, so we'd buy them a potato cake and say, no, it's fish, it's kid fish.
Well, I don't know.
They still call the potato cakes kid fish.
And let's face it, you know, no one wants any kids near their business that's got ADD, shit parents, or pests. So the whole point of when a kid goes to Woolworths, you know, or Coles, or to a fish and chip shop is, you think they're being nice, but they're going, shut that ugly child up and give it a scallop to shut its mouth, or have some Devon, to shut that kid up.
Yeah.
And that used to be just standard. That's a bribe.
I don't know. All my children were very well behaved whenever I took them anywhere. So.
After they had a scallop.
No, anyway, I ran a tight ship. They were well behaved. Yeah. But I would always go to like the deli if I took them all in Woolies. I'd go to the deli and get them like a little Frankfurt, a little thing first, and they'd chew on that while we went around.
Yep.
Okay, where are we up to? Let me have a look.
I hope you like it when we talk about whatever subjects, and I like it when not everyone's talking about military. It's good.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, for sure. Okay, where are we up to? Osneg has thanks. The other two that won't already receive their gongs through the mail, they weren't awarded it. You can find out about that.
And to me, that's bullshit. It should never be given through the mail. That could be because of COVID as well. But so let's.
They were from I think North Horse and far north Queensland.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That might be their remoteness is why that happened.
Yeah, then they should have potentially got it overseas. That would have been a nice for them to have got it over there.
Yeah.
Always think from the recipient's point of view. What would it be like? Do that little bit of extra work, and you can make that a memorable moment for someone.
Yeah. Dave Penson says he just won. What's that? 500,000 VND on Lotto.
Vietnamese dong.
Is that a lot, David?
I don't know how much that is. That could be $7. I don't know.
Surely it's more than that. What is that? What's the conversion rate there, David?
Dave, you're killing me, mate. Danang Dave, what do you got?
That's so exciting. Congratulations. We want to know how excited we should be for you.
Do you reckon these soldiers wish that they had a lynx or redback that they could be in? I've got a head up a horse's ass in on the screen at the moment.
I think they think it was witchcraft.
Oh, dude.
Okay.
Background pick reminded me of. Somehow the background pick reminded me of Baywatch. Oh, that was because I was wearing me. Yeah.
Was it the lovely lady?
Yeah, and she looks lovely too.
She does look lovely. I just love, like I said to you before, how full of life she looks.
Dave.
You know what? That's better than a poke in the eye with a sharp stick, though.
Yeah, and I've had that.
We all have, I think, at some point.
Oh, Scotty's there saying, "God please the fat truck on the barracks." I tell you what, because you are paid to be a professional athlete, especially if you're in an arms corps. Okay, not so much a lot of the other corps. There used to be a fat truck that used to come around. So basically what happened is your normal day, as you'd start. And how do you like this setup there, Scotty? It's pretty nice, eh? Basically what had happened is you'd start the day, as we know, no soldier eats breakfast. Right? You turn up at 7:20, say good day to your homeboys, and then from there you form up as a group of 30 for your platoon sergeant, platoon commander. They're going to let you know what the AOK is going to be for the day, and then from there you send off with your section commander, squad leaders to go and do PT. Okay, unless you've got someone who's a fatty boomsticks with an excuse to not train. And then from there what'll occur is you come back and you go for morning tea for an hour, like we've discussed before, where you go with your own wife, your girlfriend, or someone else's girlfriend or wife. And from there, you have your first meal of the day, which is your morning tea. Then you come back, do your training, swindle an early lunch, then you go and get on the fang there. And then before the lunch and after the lunch, the fat truck turns up and you can hear, "She's here! The fat truck's here!" And men are just... I don't know what it is. If you offer us 20 meals, we'll take them. And that fat truck used to have, I don't know, because everything got eaten on that truck. You'd have a wingding that looks like it's 8 years old, and you're going, how did it look like shit? This truck sold out yesterday. It's like they buy second-hand roadkill, crumb it and sell it to soldiers. Yeah, and if you want to know how different the world is or was in the army, it wasn't that long ago, and Scotty might remember this one too. and definitely Brady Cars and some of the others, where you'd be basically at work doing lessons. And as for security, they'd allow the porn van onto the base. And you just hear, porn van, because there's not there wasn't a single woman working in your unit. So what would happen is this white free candy bus would turn up, and it would be just from one wall to the other, porn. And soldiers would just run up and grab DVDs, cassettes in gym bags and bring them down and swap 10 for 1. As a matter of fact, I believe that Loren's shop was right near some of the peddlers of this stuff.
They were lovely folk at the sex shop next door. They were nice. We used to have lunch together and watch Days of Our Lives.
We have a real luxury tonight, team. We've got the fantastic That RY Gamer guy.
Yeah, Ryan's here.
Our Twitch brother Ryan is here. Watched a video today of a World War II sniper being given a true replica of his rifle he used in the war. Was a nice form of respect. I should link it over to you at some stage. Ryan, absolutely do that. And I believe only men would look at that and go, it's so beautiful. We see that almost as romantic.
I could appreciate the moment, but I don't think I'd get it like you guys get it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Diesel Duck has quite an honest question here.
Yep.
He said, Kaz, people at my unit right now look at me like, who the hell is this kid? And they just gave me a uniform and they sometimes just stare at me. Do they already dislike me?
Nope. The second that you go and do an exercise with them where you are trained and they know you're now one of them and they give you a position number, they'll mentor and they'll gather and they'll put the wings around you and they'll pull you in and then you'll be one of them and then you'll be looking at someone, who's them by himself, and then you remember how you feel right now and then you go over to them and you say, g'day mate, how you going? This is what I recommend to you. 1, go and subscribe to In the Trenches with Kaz now, and in between now and then if you go to jail, break out and then subscribe. And I'm here to help you along the way, mate. And you give him a hand because that's what mateship's about.
Yep, indeed. That's right.
And sometimes we appreciate what we have to earn. You don't want to walk in and all of a sudden everyone's going, hey, you that's never proved yourself, come here, awesome guy. Yep.
Good night, Zane Robinson.
Good night, Zane.
Have a good evening.
Billy Zane, he was a sniper. With Tom Berenger in Sniper 2 at Tully.
Oh, are you talking about a real person? I thought you were talking about the actor.
Yeah, I am. It got filmed in Tully.
Oh, did it? Oh, right. You confused me there for a minute. I'm not really a fan of him. I don't like his head.
He's got a weird look about him.
Yeah, that's true.
Groppler eyeballs.
Yeah.
We should sit here and talk bad about his family.
Yeah.
Kaz, with the gym shut in Brisbane, I went running instead. Did my 2 kilometres in 9:48, below the 10. Slowly clipping away at it. Great motivation from the channel. Carl P, we're about to do a video, okay, where I'm going to go and buy myself a new pair of joggers and I'm going to whack them on these chickens' legs, okay, and I'm going to set the scene and we're going to follow you as far as, look out, nearly got hit by an elephant then. And what we're going to do is I'm going to go and do my 1 kilometre split. It's going to be pathetic the first time. I won't have escaped the gulag, so to speak. But what's going to happen is that'll be the time. That'll be back to being my new diagnostic. And then from there, that'll be me versus me. And it's going to be funny. I'm going to record it all. I'm going to use Aaron and tell him if he films it, he doesn't have to do it. And I see he'll probably show up.
Find some KFC. He'll be there.
He will. Guys, you always make me feel way too welcome here. Ryan, mate, love you, mate. For those that don't know, Ryan was the guy that basically prevented me from making a lot of mistakes or buying photography equipment. He
provided a lot of tech support over the years.
He did, and he's actually set up the Streamlabs as you're looking at it now. How do you like this, Ryan? Do you like the green screen setup? Do you like the copyright stuff we have playing in the background? When people say how fit do you have to be in the military, and then you look at this battle that's happening, you go, I don't know. how fit you have to be to make it through that battle. You'd have,
Survive.
you,
Yeah,
you
exactly.
couldn't be fit enough, could you?
No, exactly. Guardian has a question. He said, Kaz, I had an allergic reaction the other day. Didn't have anaphylaxis, but I did display early warning signs of it. Could this affect me getting into the army later on?
Okay, it didn't happen, mate.
Yeah.
Yep, it didn't happen, so it didn't happen, so it didn't happen. Be wary of what it is.
Yeah, exactly. If you're worried about like that you might be developing a serious allergy, go get it checked out. They can do allergy tests.
Yeah. Look, because I have the same effect when women ask me to marry them. I get anaphylactic shock straight up. You know, I'm allergic to getting shot. I'm allergic to eating raw chicken. I have some sort of weird thing that happens every time there's an MRI or a dentist starts cutting into me soul. You know, I don't know. Good. Man, glad they did this all by yourself. Yeah, well, I was getting pretty thirsty for a while. It got to the stage where poor old Ryan was probably thinking, Kaz, come on, mate. You know, you got to do some of that yourself. We're back to the sniper now. You know, I don't know why this guy's firing from the unsupported position. You wouldn't be getting scores like that in real life, I tell you.
Yeah. Indeed.
Kane, how you going, you northern freak? Kaz and Loren, I walked 2.8 kilometres to the creek and put my crab pots in the creek, and I walked 2.8 kilometres back. I've had crabs, mate. No big deal.
Yeah, and I just said he should probably just start running it and tell us how quick he can run it.
Yeah, but if you run them with the crab traps, you know, you might get bashed by some ute-owning northerner who thinks that you just stole some.
Better to run then.
Yeah. If you see someone running with the traps, it normally means you got a poacher.
Yeah, Fighting the Turret says he has an allergic reaction when an officer talks.
That's a good point. The taste of shit in the air, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
But, you know, I've been very lucky to have some fantastic officers, and I train plenty of good ones too.
Yeah. Daniel Chen has asked, do they actually ask you to pee in front of a doctor into a cup for your health assessment upon joining?
Yes.
Yes, I believe.
Why have you got something? Have you got something you're hiding, mate?
Exactly. Any workplace, like any drug test, will be weed in front of someone.
And I tell you what, Daniel-san, you know, I hope it's not a problem for you, mate, because you'll be shitting and pissing in front of people the rest of your career if you join.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, it's there's a saying. This is a funny saying. It's a funny one. I love it. You know, when someone saw someone who's relieving themselves sexually by themselves, you know, and someone's looked at them going, "You're not wanking, are you?" And they go, "It's only gay to watch." So they put it back on you.
Don't worry about it, Daniel. It's nothing sexual about it. It's just medical.
I will do that. I will do that, Ryan. I'm looking forward to it, mate. I'm looking forward to it. It'll probably be upsetting. I watched with my daughter a beautiful video that was put together about emotion, and it was about animals spending their last moments with their dying owner, and owners spending their last moments with their dying animal. And I tell you, it's you've got to be a pretty cold son of a bitch to not be affected by it. It really hurts your heart.
Choking me up thinking about it.
Yeah. I could only imagine what vets go through, you know. And I don't get me wrong. I understand military veteran. I don't understand animal vets. You know, I couldn't think of a worse job if you love animals than to go to where your job, from the moment you wake up to the moment you go home, is watching animals in agony.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah. You know, John Paul sent me an amazing video the other day, because we were always sending each other videos about animal channels on YouTube. And he sent me one of a bearded dragon, and it like had this giant like blackhead thing that they were picking off at.
What?
I need to send it to you. I'll send it to you.
A reptile with a pimple?
Apparently it happens to bearded dragons. Apparently that happens. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, there you go. Someone just, where is it? Unicycle Swag, I think. It was saying that his father was drafted for, or conscripted for Vietnam. Well, they didn't send anyone over that didn't want to go. So did he actually go, or did he get conscripted, but then he didn't have to go? He just did the training. One of the funny things about conscription with the military in Australia is the guys that actually went to Vietnam were basically automatically discharged once that was over, and the people that were nashos, they tended to never go past it and regretted it for the rest of their life. They never stayed there. They loved it.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. Nicholas Metcalf said, wait, so if they find a bit of THC, is it come back next year? It might be just a no.
No, if it's anything to do with drugs, it'll be probably never reapply.
Just don't do that, folks. Just don't do it. You've got your dream. Stay focused. Don't let anything get in the way of it.
Yeah, that's it.
Really worth that?
Yeah, it's we're not fond of working beside people who like the devil's lettuce.
No, exactly, because it's such a massive responsibility. You can't risk that.
Having said that, I tell you, maybe it is a wonder drug for they use it for PTSD now, but it's not. But it's not while you're actually serving.
To be honest with you, I think it's really good for a lot of veterans.
Yeah, absolutely.
And not just veterans, a lot of sexual assault survivors with PTSD, and that it can be really good for them.
People with chronic pain.
Yeah, it can be a motivation sucker though. So, I don't know, maybe they should legalise it and start giving it to people in different ways.
True. Well, Aaron, sorry, I'm not going to say names.
No.
I have friends, veterans, that are actually on medicinal marijuana right now.
Yeah.
And it's allowed through the system.
Yep.
I'm going to make a valuable call here. In
Okay.
2 seconds. Sorry, team, I'm just ringing my little soul buddy.
Okay.
We might be putting out another safe spaces tomorrow too.
Hello.
Hello, beautiful girl. How you doing? Are you ready for your cross country
Good.
tomorrow?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. The people that don't know your name are going to know it when tomorrow is over. I can't wait to pick you up. And remember, you run your own race, and we're going to celebrate after it, aren't we?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you look beautiful in the photo Mama just sent me.
What did Mum send you?
A picture of you in your little unicorn hoodie.
Did you take a picture of me? When? Yeah, that's my thing.
It was beautiful.
Pick a colour.
Red.
Not you, I'm just plain trouble with Mum.
Okay. Well, darling, I've got to go.
blue.
I've got to go. I've got to say good night.
You can be blue.
But when I pick you up in the morning, okay, we're going to get ready, okay?
Okay.
I love you very much. Okay, chicken?
Okay. Can I be green?
Okay, darling.
Can you be blue?
Good night.
Yeah. Okay, good night. Love you. Bye-bye. Bye.
Bye. Sorry, I can't compete with trouble.
She's so gorgeous.
She's, I tell you what, team. It seems like the world is trying to tell you don't need or want kids, but it's the best. While at the same time, it sucks. It takes every bit of energy, but I would never change it. It is the best title you'll ever have, and
Indeed. And they grow up quick.
too quick.
Indeed, that's true.
Yep, already she knows to go, Dad, when I go shopping, that's how much I want. Because we saw it in a gangster movie.
Yeah.
The thickness of the wad.
Yep. Good girl.
Okay, Ryan, he's got to go. All the best to Ryan, and I'll come over and check you out on Twitch. And what I mean there, team, is not Skid Row, where he's twitching.
Jingle tweaking. You don't want any of that.
fighting the turret with Swar. I was at one of his weddings, talk about dragons. I've slayed a number of dragons before I got my princess, and that's what she said about you too. Well,
so gorgeous. How far is her cross country, Carl P was wondering?
I think it's over 1 kilometre. Yep. Yeah, for a little girl. I was very surprised when they did the trials that she was the only one that didn't stop for her age. She's 9. And the teachers did nothing about telling the kids don't quit. They just let them quit. I was going, what are you doing? You know, that's crazy. You know, you never tell kids they're allowed to just quit. You know, or they'll become quitters. Cheers, Kaz.
No, that's true. Yeah, exactly. Because my kids, some of them were sporty, some weren't. And even the ones who didn't want to run the whole way, they'd at least finish it.
Yeah, that's right.
You know, because you have to finish what you start.
Anthony is my best PTSD tablet for me, says Denang Dave.
What's that mean?
I don't know. Is that his dog?
Is it? That's very cryptic.
Hi guys,
Or is that your...
in the future here. I hope you enjoyed that.
Is that your trial?
Get some long
I don't know.
sniping in
I don't know.
every once in a while.
David, that was very cryptic.
Yeah.
Indeed. Mysterious David.
Oh, he's mysterious.
He's an international man of mystery.
Mr. Mysterioso. Team, we've got about 4 minutes on here. Kaz, how far? At least 1 kilometre, and I'll know tomorrow. It really hurts me that you don't get to see what was the next instalment of the athletics carnival, because every year on Instagram I put the video of Aaliyah running in the races, and it's always my favourite. Lincoln has his coming up. He is 9, and I think it's just over 1 kilometre. That sounds about right, mate. And I tell you what, Carl, Lincoln's going to be laughing, mate, because he knows how to run 1 kilometre. He knows that he can do it. He's gonna be a killer.
Yeah. Exactly.
Oh, okay. So Dave, that's his 2-year-old son.
Oh, little Anthony. How gorgeous.
Tony, Anthony.
Yeah, how beautiful. Yeah, they're the best, aren't they? They sure are.
Yeah.
Diesel Duck says, hey Kaz, what advice would you give to raising the next generation of kids? What should I do to make my children grow up tough? I don't know if it's about them growing up tough, just growing up well-rounded, good citizens.
Spend time with them. Spend time with them instead of with their iPad. Too many people think that their mum and dad are iPads.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's about them being tough. It's about them being resilient.
Yeah.
You know, they don't need you to toughen them up. The world's hard enough.
One of the things I'd recommend to people is have dinner when you have children. Have dinner at a table.
Yeah, we always.
Because if you have a table, one, they know how to eat at restaurants later. They know what formal pecking order there is in the house. And if you're going to be dealing with situations of the day that are probably official, it gives you the chance to then go, now as we push back off the table, your jobs are, but also those conversations are now over. Now it's what you do about it.
Yeah, exactly. Joshua, I didn't want my kids to do cadets, to be honest with you. I was a bit worried it might be like scouts and there'd be a lot of creepers, to be honest. So, you know, not everyone wants to do cadets. But what we did around the dinner table was I implemented this thing called highs and lows. And because sometimes your kids get home from school, you say, how was your day? They say, good. And that's it. Whereas to sort of engage kids in conversation and get them talking about the good things and the bad things, we'd go around in a circle and say, what are your highs and lows? And mum and dad would do it too. We'd tell them what were the high points of our day, what was the low points of our day, and then it would often start really good conversations. And, you know, we'd get to know our kids in a way that, you know, we may not have if we didn't do that.
You've got to give them a platform to be able to speak in a organic kind of way, rather than confronting them and going, how was your day? Monotone voice every day, you know, and the dinner table allows that. Jay's saying the Fugly, it's Fugly's best work here. Meme with Kaz singing Never Gonna Give You Up. I believe
Yeah.
that's an excellent idea to
Yeah.
replace the Kraken.
I think so too. He rickrolled us all.
It was good, really good.
Yeah.
There was something else that was up here too.
I don't know. Are you releasing some more safe spaces soon?
Yeah, I'm thinking about putting out a safe space either tomorrow or the following day, as we get ready to go into Easter. I love doing it. Loren loves doing it. We're looking at getting some more people involved.
All lined up.
Yep, we will be confronting some people and asking whether they would like to be part of a panel that will be on by Zoom call where we talk about certain subjects that touch all of us. And I think it's important, and that is how we help our next generation, is by having an alternative conversation, free-flowing truth with no fake news.
Yeah.
I've got to stop for a second and go, I wish I was that girl's phone.
That's already been said.
Is it an Apple phone?
Yeah, someone said that they actually think they're going to start identifying as a phone.
Is it Nokia?
With the lurker, that sounds like something the lurker would say.
Is she on FaceTime? But look, I would love to have. What would you reckon would be the magic number? Because you don't want too many. Which is the reason why I'd never go Discord, ever. What do you reckon would be the most people you'd want on the screen, Loren?
I don't know. Sometimes it gets a bit crazy. Sometimes even you, me, and Ed end up talking over each other. So
Four's good. Four would be good.
yeah.
A diversity, you
A
know.
four-way instead of a three-way. We
Yep.
can try that.
Yeah, because three-way sounds dodgy.
We've had many three-ways here.
Diesel duck. Does the army have safe spaces? I hope it doesn't. You know, Australia's a safe space. You know, I can't stand anything to do with safe spaces. You know, the reason why our civilization is having the trouble it is now is because of safe spaces. There shouldn't be one. At school, the safe space was the library. You know, where no beatings allowed inside the library. You know, we're seeing now that there's starting to be a swing left, and I think this has all been started with the counter swing that's happening back against Miss Markle. Might be the start of what we're seeing is the re-emergence of common sense, and Cardi B is copping a bit of a hiding as well.
Well, look, they're the ones dishing it out, so if you're going to dish it out, you better be ready to take it back.
Well, it's true, but they don't like the mirror when it's held up to them.
Tough luck.
Yeah.
You know, tough luck.
Yeah, see this lady in the thumbnail, she's going, when are you coming to Portugal, Kaz? And I'm going, when I finish this Pepsi, which means never. Kaz, will WW3 break out? No. It will, one day, but it might be economic.
Oh my God, Freddie just cracked me up.
What's he saying? It's not Nokia.
He's very witty, is our Freddie.
Yep, he is. You know, and I love where the milk comes from. I've always been that guy. Maddie, happy Easter to you. Happy Easter to you, mate. And I won't be eating, unlike some of the guys of the rainbow flag, I won't be eating meat on Friday. I'll be having the fillet of fish, you know. It is, this is also a channel where we have absolutely no problem if you are religious of any faith.
Right.
Because you know what? I appreciate people believe in something.
Exactly. It's a really important week for me with my faith. It's, you know, Passion Week.
Hashtag me too. You know,
It's more important than Christmas to me.
Well, sometimes a soldier's best friend was hope. Yeah. Guys and gals, with that out the way, will the draft ever return? Yes, it will. That's one thing I can guarantee, Diesel Duck. It's been in Australia 4 times. It's called conscription, not the draft. That's USA. Conscription has been in Australia 4 times in the past. All 4 times it was accepted, you know. And, you know, what was I going to say?
Don't know.
I'd have to, if it's to go overseas, I understand if people aren't for it. If it's for Australia's borders, I don't think people should have a choice. You know, I couldn't trust a man that wouldn't fight for his country if it was for his own, for the safety of these borders.
Yeah. I'd be very surprised if people had a problem if it was for Australia's borders.
And you know what? If it was Australia's borders, I'll tell you something. You wouldn't need a draft. Australia is a magnificent country. Never let the project tell you it's not.
Indeed.
If they put that word out now that Australia's borders were in trouble,
you have every man, his missus and their kids out there.
Every chance to get away from the house. Yep, I'm in.
Yep, indeed.
Yeah.
Carl P, we love you being part of the channel. We love being part of this community.
We do.
You know, it's really good for me. This is what I do for my PTSD.
Yeah. Daniel Chen says, very serious question. Is Mr. Heston Russell's jawline legit? Yeah, it is, mate. It is.
He's not alone. We got a lot of lovely looking lads.
There is, you know. And, well, this is one of the things, and as one of our parting comments, and this is no fake news. You know, the ugliest man to ever live in Australia, you never would have known it, would have happened in the last 70 years. You know, but there was no such thing as ugly men in the 1920s, 1930s, 1940s, because even when they worked on the railway, they wore the collared shirt with their breeches, with their suspenders, their hair done. They'd take their hat off. You know, they had manners. They worked hard. So they didn't go to the gym, none of them. But they knew what hard work was. You know, and when you work hard and your muscles are firm and your jawline is taut, okay, and you have that steely eye look of someone who appreciates the food that's been earned and the sleep as well that's been earned, you know, your presentation will make you look great. It doesn't matter how you think you are. No one looks good in a tracksuit and a hoodie. You know, I spoke to a young woman today and we were talking about attraction and stuff like that. I said there's a massive difference between a woman and a lady. And I said you could walk down in what you're wearing right now and you might get a couple of glances from the guys swinging picks on the work crew. I said, I tell you what, bud, you know, you might not get a door open for you. You take that sloppy Joe off, you know, and I'm not talking about her uncle, and put on a dress, a summer dress, with your hair done, and you walk down there and not holding a vat of coffee, have a smaller one, and have the look of the lady, doors and oceans will part for you. Gentlemen will come out of the roughest men, and that woman will have a free passport from point A to point B, and she will get respect the entire way, and a lot of men won't swear, and they will be on their best behaviour.
True, that's been my experience. But here's the thing, a lady would never take advantage of that.
Yeah. The problem is, you still want that lady to be a freak in the bed.
Well, that's...
You've got to be careful you don't get one that takes you 10 years after she says yes to go, I'm not really into that. But can cook a chook.
My God, well, that's, you know, 1 out of 2.
And if you want to, and last one before we go, if you want to piss off a feminist because she won't hear you out, confuse her by telling her when you're in a couple, it's a woman. 50% of the time, that woman should be in the kitchen. Because the other 50%'s you, but you're fine with that. You know, 50% of the time, there's no excuse for men and women not to be able to cook these days. Because if you can't cook, then that means you're demanding the other person does. You know, cooking is a skill, and it's a fantastic thing. If you're a young bloke or a young lass, take it up. Everyone should be able to cook. They used to teach us at school.
Yeah, I cooked a delicious roast chicken tonight.
Bad news for the chicken.
Yeah, indeed. It was, but it was delicious.
Mm.
Yeah. Well, are we out of here?
We're out of here, team. It's fantastic. That was a really quick hour and a half. Hour and 38 minutes.
Time flies when we're with these guys because we're having fun.
And
thank you all the moderators and the members.
Thank you all.
If you haven't already, please give a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't. Click the bell for notifications and try and share the stream or the channel with people so we can get over that 10,000 mark. That would be awesome. And
don't be afraid to bring some fake news to the channel to test me, because I love it.
Yeah, we love a bit of fake news. Oh, and thank you to everyone who came and left a comment on the no safe spaces that we did the other day. That was really interesting dialogue that we had afterwards.
And funny enough, it made to current affair last night.
Yeah, indeed. So it was really good. It was great to have so many people interacting with something that wasn't your usual stream. So it was great. Hey, and Tassie Devil, we're really excited for you for next week, indeed. I'm sure we'll have a stream before then, won't we?
Yeah. Well, this Friday, I'm looking at doing a special one for Easter.
Yeah, because I'll be away at a resort the week after that. So
Court is not a resort.
no, he's going to Kapuka. I'm going to go be sitting in a spa.
Beautiful. I love it. And Scotty Swar, you might very well be one of the people that will be thrown on our Zoom calls for our future safe spaces. If you haven't checked it out, go and check them out.
Yep.
You know, because I love dismantling your conversations. All right. I'll see you later.
Yep.
You know, take it easy. And remember the elephant in the room.